Alaman nyo.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever or whenever you may be. This is the overnight. I'm Dave Foss, and tonight we've got DJ Play Nice, who's walking on sunshine. How's it going, DJ?
Oh, intoning Katrina and the waves. Right on, man. I'm doing well. Coming off a chat about an hour ago. Had a good time there. Looking forward to a good time tonight right here.
And Guns and Barbecue. How you doing?
Doing all right. Thank you for the invite.
And Iron Road. How you doing?
Oh, it's just another day in beautiful, sunny, always sunny Oregon.
Well, that's good to hear. And so tonight we're going to talk about, I put less than lethal, but I think the preferred term now is less lethal. It started out as non-lethal, and then they realized that it can still kill people. So it kind of transitioned to less than lethal and now less lethal. But first, let's do some housekeeping. Wesley Foster, if you're out there, if you're listening, I should be able to send your stuff out Monday or Tuesday. And X Adam 1 sent, let me turn my camera on. My internet's been a little patchy, so I'll probably have my camera off most of the time, but let me begin myself. Maybe. Are you going to do something? There we go. X Adam 1 sent me, as the kids would say, a grip of these. So one of these will go to you, Wesley, and then I've got a few that I think we'll use for giveaways. And he also sent me a bunch of stuff, but a Casio watch. So I think that'll go out maybe for the next giveaway, which we are creeping up on 1,600. So I think we'll do a giveaway when we hit 1,600. And okay, I got that set. And let me smallen myself here. There we go. Oh, in the description, there's links for the websites that I that we'll look at tonight, and a link for the overnight Gilded server. It's a place to hang out, chit chat. You can share pictures, memes, talk with. You can always get a hold of me or most of these other guys that come on the chats there. And Oh, and the banner. I remembered the banner. So at the bottom of the screen is an email, untactedfoss@gmail.com, and a link. And those are a couple of ways to also get a hold of me. And if you watch this in replay, leave a comment. Anything we talk about, agree with, disagree with, think we missed, let me know. I always read the comments, and they're always appreciated. And let's take a quick look, see who was out there. Krabby Turtle, and these were out there earlier, so they're probably in bed. Although Moo is probably over talking with Rob still. Rob D was doing a live chat, and I think he's still going. X Adam 1, DJ Play Nice, Kingpin, G23, Misha N, and Gizzard Gary asking what's up, everybody. So, all right. So for Less Than Lethal, let me call up, share this screen. Probably most people will think about like pepper spray or a mace, and they're a small format, so they're easy to carry, very portable and effective. Do any of you guys carry a mace or pepper spray with you?
I actually do. Sorry, Guns, you were saying
Anybody
something?
else?
Not since I work security. And even then, I only did it while on duty.
Never.
I think about it. I think about it now and again, just because it's that, there are those few times where, like, I don't want to draw my gun or I don't want to punch, be physical with somebody, and that would be the intermediate step. It could be also like those will work on dogs, the mace, pepper spray. If you've got a dog that, comes after you. Or,
I actually,
if it's a crazy lady, I don't want to, I don't want to punch, then you could use pepper spray.
Crazy lady. Yeah, no, I actually keep one. I keep one in the center console of my car, for my Tacoma. So in that case of, someone's getting a little apey outside my window, just outside my driver door, I can just kind of roll down the window and just kind of make them go away.
Like at work, the owner has offered to give me mace, but I don't feel I really need it. It probably wouldn't hurt. There is one that's, if I had to, I could get to it, but it's just going to stink up the place. That's the one drawback is, especially pepper spray, because, there's a difference between mace and pepper spray. Mace is the liquid, and then pepper spray is more of an aerosol. So you can end up fogging yourself depending on the winds. And that's one of the reasons I don't. But again, that's it. Every so often I'll rethink it and think, well, I kind of want to, and I know other people that do, and I just haven't.
Well, that stuff just, like you said, fogging yourself. That stuff just gets outright everywhere. Like, for example, like I grew up on the, early thousands of where the episode Cops, and whenever they said they were going to mace somebody, you saw everybody else that was involved in the situation just kind of give a wide berth to that person. And cops even talk about dealing with that person when they put the cuffs on them and the liquid is still on them. So now they're putting their hands on them, and that stuff just gets everywhere. And the moment you touch your face, you immediately start feeling the effects.
Well, if you're
And these, you
in
know, these
law
are
enforcement,
very
you're dumb enough to
effective.
touch your. Sorry, boss.
Oh, no,
But yeah,
go ahead.
and if you're using it more defensively, you know, your chances of touching someone that has it on them, you know, relatively low, because it's more or less of a spray and get away type of, you know, deal. But even then, you know, you still kind of expose yourself in some fashion.
If you're talking about using it in self-defense, exposing yourself should be one of your least worries. Because at the end of the day, the person that you're using it against is big enough of a threat for you to have to worry about using it in the first place. A residual effect is not the same as the direct hit that they should be receiving.
No. Yeah.
So, yeah. Things like that, I don't get too hung up on. I've thought about carrying OC spray when I am concealed carrying with the fanny pack because I've got the extra room. Why not? But then I'm like, you know, I don't normally carry it, so why add it to the repertoire at that point? And then my other thought is something we were always told, again, any trainings that I went to for armed security, corrections, etc., anything that you have on you can be used against you.
That's
and
true.
barbecue, speaking of being used against you, I think that you had to go through taser training, which you went through, you know, with flying colors kind of thing. But did you have to do something with pepper spray or anything else that might have been used in corrections?
Yeah. Yeah, and at that time, the OC spray was 3 million skull heat units, which at the time was the highest on the market. And only law enforcement could get it. Now, talking to my buddy that still works corrections, I think the highest that they can get is 5 million skull heat units, which is just insane. Which now that's again only for law enforcement use, but which I would like to be sprayed with that now just to see, you know, how awful that is, because the 3 million was like, all right, this sucks. You know, I can still function and do what I need to do, but you know, like this isn't pleasant.
That's 5 million. That almost sounds like it's almost like a low tier bear spray in a way, but I don't know where that scores.
Well, how many Scoville is bear spray then?
That's the thing. Let's see here. Going
And
to
barbecue,
the
did you have any kind of projectile weapon, like beanbag rounds or anything, or did it step
No.
right up to lethal? Okay.
Baron SVG's out there. He said he should do a pepper spray challenge with New York Outcast. I would love to see that.
That'd be
I was
interesting.
about to say the same thing. Let's set it up.
But you know, there's one because I've never looked into bear spray, but I almost wonder if bear spray is actually weaker than people give it credit for. Because if you think about it, bears have incredibly
sensitive, yeah.
Yes. So with that, one would almost think that the spray would not have to be that strong at that point.
G23 brings up, depending on your state, mace or pepper spray can carry the same weight of law as your firearm.
Mm-hmm.
That has come up during the mostly peaceful hootenannies that were going on, where I think it happened in the same state where the police had used pepper spray, and it was an incident right after somebody had taken pepper spray from an officer while they were trying to subdue them, used it on the officer. And in one case, they were calling it deadly force. The other saying it was just pepper spray. It's not deadly force. So your laws may vary. And Gunpowder Beauty's out there. There we go. I knew there was someone else I was missing.
There's one offer on Amazon from Fox Spray. They're offering one that claims an advertisement of 5.3 million Scovilles, which seems a bit overkill.
I doubt that's real. Like I said, from what I understand, this 5 million Scoville heat units is the strongest on the market, and they're only offering it to law enforcement. So that's probably an overinflated number.
Well, another one, Pew Pew Tactical, Fox Labs 5.3. They're offering it.
Again,
Commercial market, actually.
But people that offer stuff on the commercial market all the time overinflate their numbers.
I don't want to be the one to test it. I'll take the word for it right
now. Gunpowder Beauty said, drunk me sprayed myself fumbling with my keys trying to get in the house. And when the oldest redhead was about 3 years old, he sprayed in my car because it was attached to my purse. Yeah, that sucked. And she also said, I don't use pepper spray anymore. Kids taught me I am better off without it. And so any of the websites or any of the products, I'm not specifically promoting any website or product. We're just looking at different options. And G23 said in Oregon, pepper spray carries the weight of law as using your firearm.
Jeebus. I mean, you're making an attempt right there. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm not sure what it is for my state. I have never looked into it.
You know, in the presence of, pepper spray, I'm still going to call it non-lethal. But, that shows the presence of mind and a desire not to cause a fatality kind of thing. You might have a backup to that is.
Does it?
Does what?
Put the shoe on the other foot. What if it's a person that's looking to abduct somebody? So they spray somebody that way you can't see their abductor. Mm-hmm. They kidnap somebody, take them wherever they want.
I guess the distinction that I'm trying to make is that one is a defensive action, and the other one, the example that you give, is something where you're intending to cause. You set out to cause damage, not you set out to defend yourself. Sorry, boss.
It probably is no different than the intent. There have been cases where people use it to rob convenience stores. I had somebody pull it on me. A big can of bear spray, pulled it out to threaten me. And so I disagree with it, but I can see where it's just to kind of counter what you were saying. It would be intent, how you're using it, not what it is.
But even on the intent factor, take the intent factor out of it. Excuse me, sorry about that. What if they use it and the person who used it on has respiratory issues, and before paramedics or anybody can render aid, they have their airways closed up and they suffocate?
Yeah. I mean, that's the kind of it sounds like, those are the rolls of the dice. But the distinction that I was trying to make, and I do get your point, Barbecue, is that one is an offensive use and one's a defensive use.
But you can usually use it offensively.
I agree. I agree, but I wasn't
I-
trying to address whether or not the substance should be marketed or available or anything kind of thing. And I don't know enough to speak any further. So please
And
proceed.
unfortunately, the law doesn't look at it as, well, this was offensive or defensive, because at the end of the day, if it was saying, oh, this was in self-defense, then depending on the laws and everything like that, then you shouldn't be charged with a crime and you're free to go. You don't have to worry about it. But if they're saying, oh, you used this illegally, at that point, it was used offensively and you're guilty of a crime.
Gunpowder Beauty said she has sparkling turquoise pepper spray that she bought back in 2018. I'm not sure if the container is sparkly or does it shoot sparkles when you spray
That's
it?
an
That is
interesting
pretty
twist.
sweet.
Yeah, not only does it make somebody cry, but now they look they look like a glam rocker. That's
Fabulous.
interesting. Yeah.
And X Adam 1 said it's not different when it's the form of defense. You could use a bat to defend yourself. Use that same bat to rob someone. Now it's a deadly weapon. But that's, these are the two that probably most people will think of first. So I thought we'd, discuss it. And I still not sure about if I want to carry it or not. I usually end up deciding, no, I don't want to, but maybe as I grow older, then, I might change, because that's kind of why I started carrying a firearm. Was, I got to the point where I'm not as fast as I used to be. Probably can't punch my way out of as many situations as I could, and I have a family to protect. So, Gizzard Gary, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Foss, I can
do you
relate
have
completely to the. Go ahead.
No, go ahead and finish.
I was just going to say I can relate completely to that experience because it came the time when I can't outrun that, and I didn't think so much about the punch my way out of a situation. It had to do with whether or not I could get my fat ass moving. And when I realized that I could no longer, I needed something that could, the reach out and touch someone kind of thing. So I can relate to that.
So Gary, do you carry mace or pepper spray, or have you, or do you have?
No, never have. I mean, I've been carrying a concealed weapon since 2015, so I can't think of too many situations want to carry pepper spray or anything like that.
Oh. And I have seen the aftermath, people that have been sprayed, and I don't know, I think maybe twice, and I don't really know what they were sprayed with. I just saw them, afterwards, they kind of said, came up to me, yeah, I got sprayed. And so it does seem to be very effective.
So are we talking about carrying this as opposed to a handgun or in addition to, or?
Well, just as an option. I didn't put it, because, some people don't like firearms, so they want other options. Some people, I do know somebody that this was part of their loadout, with their firearm. So they had an option other than their firearm. So it's not.
My daughter has thought about carrying pepper spray, but pretty much everywhere she's worked and everything else, that's just as forbidden as a handgun. So a lot of times, if and you can't go anywhere with pepper spray that you know what I'm saying. It doesn't really give you any more exclusive access.
So yeah, I just went and Googled some of these pepper sprays, and one thing I'm finding consistent is these op-ed reviews by some people on the internet. Fox Pro or Fox Labs is claiming that they have a 5.3 commercially available. I think that's kind of interesting, but I don't know. Certainly
an
one to be
element
tested.
of this. Okay, but an element of this discussion that I think might be interesting, Foss, you decide, is what about the difference between states that are stand your ground versus duty to retreat? Nebraska is a duty to retreat state. So is that something that's an angle worth exploring here?
I'm not going to.
Okay.
I see where you're going with that, and that probably would be a good discussion, but I don't want to get into that. Just so we can cover what I want to cover. And X Adam 1, I see your email, and I'll show that here in a little bit. We're gonna cover some stuff kind of like that here in a little bit. And Gunpowder Beauty said, less than lethal, my cat ear throat punch thingamajiggy. Oh, I think, wonder if it's that keychain, like that keychain thing with the 2 places for your fingers and the pokey parts.
Mm-hmm.
Is what she means.
I remember like pepper spray kind of being first marketed as directed towards women mostly. Put this in your purse. I mean, GPB is kind of a solo runner out there. Like to hear from her, but yeah, the device that you're talking about, a trade name for those is Patty Cat. It's just like in the shape of a cat, and the ears are the stabby stab parts or the pokey poke parts. And I've recommended that friends, not just women, carry those on a key ring kind of thing. It just gives that extra little bit of confidence. It's not the same as putting keys in your hand. It actually gives something to set into the palm of your hand. Yeah.
I question the effectiveness of the key thing, of lacing the keys through your fingers. I don't think that's a good option, but so X Adam 1 was saying he bought a couple of those for his daughter, but they're a hard polymer. So they might go places where the metal ones might not go.
There
we go. So let me close that tab and let's look at pepper blasters. So another option. Now I got to find the right window. So there's different versions. We'll look at the Byrnas, I guess, first. So this is basically like a paintball gun, but it shoots pepper balls. Instead of being filled with paint, they're filled with pepper, and it's in the form of a handgun. So it's a familiar form factor.
Store today. Yeah.
And did you see them at SHOT Show? Were they at SHOT Show? Do you know?
No. I think the Gun Snob actually got some stuff from them. One of their.
Oh, I think he has a video. I think he did a video with it.
Yeah.
I had never seen them in a retail setting until a couple of years ago, the whole riot thing, when there was a lot more people considering. And I've never seen a video, detailing their use or whatever. That just seems to me to be, wow, not that great an idea if you're not accurate with it. Go ahead.
I think this is more marketed towards people who don't like firearms, but want something like a firearm.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the impression I got. It says
I get it, but
legal in 50 states, no background. I'm reading off the website what it says here. Adopted by 300 law enforcement agencies, over 300,000 units sold. So
half in and half out is wishy plus washy. to me. I mean, I'm not trying to be critical of anybody who makes that decision necessarily, not the individual, but just kind of the idea. I don't know. I just don't get it. Maybe somebody else can bring it into clear focus for me.
It's not an option that I would choose. But again, I think it's more for the people who don't like guns. But they want something for self-defense that's more than shouting.
See, and maybe that's my disconnect. People who don't like firearms, and then this most recent example, and you use the word guns. So people who don't like firearms or guns actually getting something that's a damn gun. There's no way to, it's unmistakably so, and it hurls a projectile. Like, you're one step away from lead. So that's why I kind of have that. I don't get it. You're either in or you're out. Like, what you're holding in your hand is one step away from being a firearm.
Well, G23 was saying those are deadly under 20 feet. I'm not sure what the minimum range for safety is on them, but I think it's just the perception that they're, it's a gun-shaped thing, so it might be scary to point. When you're pointing at somebody, it may be scary to them, and then shoot something that isn't a bullet, so it's not deadly.
Well, that kind of brings to mind an example. I think it might have been Chicago, where an officer thought she was drawing her pepper or taser or whatever it was, and actually drew a firearm, kind of thing. That's another thing. I question, the decision making in carrying that, because if you have the pepper ball gun on your strong side, what's on your weak side? Like, you have no other option. At least you can show discretion with a firearm. If you're actually putting pepper spray down, pepper balls down range at somebody, well, then you were willing to pull a trigger. Now, if you're just using that as a deterrent, I get it. But what do you do past the deterrent?
At the same time as a firearm, I think would be extremely irresponsible. I think if you're going to carry this, it would be in lieu of a firearm. You're going somewhere where firearms are prohibited, but for some reason they were going to allow this. Like, you're going there and like, this is not a firearm. This is, this is what this is. And you're thinking they're going to be like, okay, well, that's fine. It's not, a gun. It's, fucking little pepper spray balls. Like, have a great time at our fucking event. But like, the idea that you would carry this at the same time that you're carrying your EDC firearm seems like a terrible fucking idea.
I totally agree. And it's like, I'm trying to understand mostly with this, not having something that then, I mean, if you're going to take the turn the other cheek kind of thing, it kind of seems like that to me. Like, I'm not going to use this because I don't believe in killing you. I'm hoping that I can stop you, but like, really? I don't know. I don't get it. My disconnect makes me want to turn off my mic. Sorry, you guys go ahead.
Well, to take it out of self-defense as an I would see it kind of similar as a car versus a bicycle. They both are transportation, but there's people who like the bicycle because there's no emissions, carbon, hoodad. You don't pay for gas, oil changes. But they both get you somewhere. Whereas a firearm and this, I don't know if this is making any sense at all. The firearm is more like the car, where there's a lot more involved. Well, that's not the right way. God, that analogy kind of fell apart. But I don't see the same way that you do. I would not carry this and a firearm. Well, I wouldn't carry this at all, and I don't think people would. This is intended to be carried, really. Other, like maybe the police departments would carry them like they carry a taser, but to be like a home defense. Is kind of how I saw it, but I'm not sure. I haven't really looked into the marketing. So,
I guess another thing, because there was a lull there. I'm sorry, and I'll pass it to you, Gary. Another aspect of that is if you're drawing, suppose you're drawing a pepper, this pepper ball thing, and the person you're drawing on, they decide to draw their firearm. You just brought a squirt, you just brought a water pistol to a gunfight. I'm still not getting it. Yeah, it is. Absolutely. I get it. And I'm not trying to be deprecatory towards people who make the non-lethal choice kind of thing so much as I'd really like to understand the psychology of somebody who's willing to make every step except for a lead projectile. Like, wow.
So think about this. You've got the familiarity of this. It's like a firearm. You've got the ability to aim like a firearm. You've got the ability to pull a trigger like a firearm, as opposed to something where you grab it, you wrap 3 fingers around it, a thumb around it. You take your index finger, place it under a cap that you slide your index finger up under, and then push down on, and hope that you have it aimed in the right direction. Has no sights or anything else, and you're hoping that when you do that, it's going to hit the assailant that you're wanting to disorient. Or you could have this, that when you pull that, you got all those familiar muscle memories that are going to take over, and because you're probably going to be in close quarters anyways, and when you hit them with that, those balls explode, releasing a mist of this spray that gets all up in their sinuses and everything. So it's not like you've got to be tack on sharp. If you were aiming center mass but you hit him in the shoulder, guess what? You're still getting the job done. So there's a lot of benefits there, as opposed to pepper spray where, again, you're shaky and you're high stress and you just got this thin little stream and you go to spray it and you spray over their shoulder or something. Great. You missed.
I see them as being equally risky in that regard. Yeah.
Baron was asking about the cost on these, and the Byrnas on Amazon. I think for a basic kit, the gun, a CO2 cartridge, and a set of pepper balls is about $300, and then they have a bigger kit with more CO2, more pepper balls, about $400.
Now, barbecue, I'm going to toss this one out. I would much rather have somebody, make a mistake with a pepper ball gun than with a firearm that throws lead. But for a second there, I was also just thinking, what about unintentional harm to others? I mean, you open yourself up by exposing, as you would, of course, with a pepper spray or whatever, but the people who are in the area, who are the innocents, soft quotes kind of thing, potentially, I mean, you open yourself up to a whole lot of civil liability there as well using that thing. And then if that's not
any pepper spray.
Agree. So it's like, again, that's like an extra risk. And if the person is making that choice because they want to do little harm instead of do no harm, it's like, hold on a second. You know that you're going to affect any others in the area. So is that reasonable, responsible, natural, normal, or kind? The answer is no. It's not.
So you're saying don't carry pepper spray?
No, I'm not attempting to say that so much as if anybody is making a choice to carry that instead of a more lethal option, because apparently there's this debate about whether or not you can kill somebody with a pepper ball gun. But no, I just see it as your intention to stop in defense.
Are you specifically saying the pepper ball gun or pepper spray in general?
Pepper ball gun is what I started out the example with, so I'm not sure.
Because again, my point is with the point you're making of leaving yourself open to liability. If anybody else were to be affected, that can happen with pepper spray in general. Is the wind blowing? Are you in a small room? Anything else? A lot of things are going to happen. If you feel that you're in a big enough threat or at a great enough threat that you've got to use that, are you going to be weighing, oh, well, other people could be affected by this spray and they could sue me. So I'm not going to take this ass whooping and I'm still going to spray this, or I am going to take this arse whooping and I'm going to possibly get sued, whether I use this stuff that's in an aerosol can or I use this stuff that's in this, giant airsoft gun.
Yeah, totally relate.
The liability is going to be the same.
I think that my impression was this is more home defense. So it's not, you're not out in at the mall with this. So the scenarios will be a little different. And that would be somebody attacking you in your home. So that may not be something you're going to really worry about. And here's a rifle version that they have.
Well, that'd be good for critter control too. I didn't think about that.
And this one's $750.
Blaze Orange, the ones that I've seen, that's a wise idea.
Has.
Yeah, the Blaze Orange is a wise idea.
What were you saying, Gary?
I said that's the one the Gun Snob has, is a rifle version.
Oh, okay.
He's got videos on it.
Ron Wayne's out there. Gunpowder Beauty. Hang on, it jumped on me here. It said, okay, DJ scenarios. Someone takes my kid out of the yard. Do I shoot them with the 45 or the pepper ball gun? I would lean towards the 45. But I guess she's worried about the kid.
Yeah, that's a difficult one. I'm glad she posed that. I hope that no one thinks I'm just trying to be contentious or shitty about this, and I'm just trying basically to understand.
It's we're kind of having a discussion about this, and that's good to have different opinions so we can look at it from different viewpoints.
No doubt. I just don't want to be. I don't want to be perceived as trying to create offense so much as explore these things. And if I do unintentionally, then I'll cop to it. And to answer her question, man, that is a difficult one. Do you take the risk of shooting your child with the 45, or do you take the chance that they'll be able to continue to abscond with your child because it was less than lethal? And so my immediate response to that question was, oh, the pepper. And then I thought about it for a second. It's like, no. Maybe you need to use that lethal option in that situation. That's a good one, and I'm glad she posed it. GPB and I are friends, so no animosity there.
So let's look at different version of. Oops, let me get the right screen up. Nope, that's the wrong one. No, now I gotta find the right. There we go. So this is a version made by Pepperball. Yeah, they're don't look quite as good as the Byrnas, but probably are just as effective as the Byrna. Perform in this. And then they have some non-pepperball projectiles. So they're probably maybe a hard foam or something. And so it's an option other than pepper balls is, kind of like your rubber bullets. And I'm not sure what these are made of. I don't remember. Ball protective. Let me look at the details. Payload. All All right, doesn't really say what it's made of. Some sort of non-lead projectile. So it's an impact weapon, but less lethal. Is there a difference between this using these versus pepper balls for anyone, or is it about the same for you?
I have actually thought about like in a home defense firearm that I have like ready to go in case shit were to hit the fan. Having first round projectile loaded with a rubber round or a beanbag and like a shotgun maybe, and then if that did not dissuade the threat, then having lethal rounds behind that. But then I'm like, what if they were to, because you don't know what the threat is going to be when that time comes.
Yeah.
There
are some of those. There are some of those that we'll look at a little bit later. I have a page for those different round options.
Yep. And my thought is like, what if it was a situation where somebody just came in guns blazing for some reason? Like, I don't know why I'd ever be in that situation, but what if? I sure as heck would not want my first round to be a rubber bullet or a beanbag at that point.
That's something, as I started looking into this, that's something that I actually thought about. Because recently I saw somebody talking about that, where the first round was non-lethal and then the rest of them were lethal. I think it was in a shotgun. And, that was my thought. Well, what if you need lethal to start and you don't have lethal to start?
I suppose you give them just an absolute mag dump of reminder of what it feels like before bullets enter you. And maybe they get the chance to rethink their life choices. In all sincerity.
And here's some more versions of the as soon as it comes up. Pepper ball guns. There's like the revolver looking type. And then these have different calibers. So there's different options for like nylon balls or pepper balls, depending on the size. And so different formats. Ones that look more like, this one looks like a Walther or a Glock. I think there was something on the second page. No. Oh, this one. It's kind of like a large pen gun, but it's a pepper ball gun. So it's, instead of being a gun, it's kind of a tube.
I don't know if anyone has asked this question yet. Are these things regulated or treated as if they're firearms in the same way?
Most of them are. I don't think so. I'm not sure. Check your laws, but
because I know, because I know with my Buy Mart, I could just walk in and buy a Byrna and walk out with it with no hassle whatsoever.
That's what they say on their website.
And
why would you ask that question?
And considering that you could buy them off of Amazon, but that's not what I'm saying. Is like the use of them. Is it treated the same way? Like if you were to deploy it as you would with your sidearm.
We were discussing that earlier.
We kind of went over that a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I'm still kind of suffering from a brain
depends.
fog here.
Oh, it kind of depends on your local laws, and then how the DA in your area wants to look at it. Have a good night, Ron Wayne. So there's lots of options for pepper ball guns, different forms. And let me close that. And let's look at what kind of got me thinking about all this to start with was Kimber. Kimber has the Pepper Blaster, and it's a 2-shot. It shoots a liquid, and it's in the rear of it. There's two, I'm guessing CO2 charges, one for the top barrel, one for the bottom barrel, and it. Let me look up. Let me see if I can find a video on it. It's kind of interesting. Have you guys seen this one? The Kimber one?
No, sir, not till now.
Negative. I've seen
It's
something like this.
You remember what it was?
I do not.
Oop. All right. Let me.
For all I know, it
turn
could have been the
that.
Kimber, and I just didn't know it.
As I found on YouTube, oops, that's the wrong one. A video from Kimber. So let me back it up.
Hey, that's not pointed in a safe direction.
I expected it to be kind of like a squirt gun, but it's kind of interesting how it works. So it's definitely a close-up. And they're only about $40. There's more expensive. You can get like a 3-pack for more, but they're pretty affordable. But you only get 2 shots, and you can't control the shot other than letting it go. I thought it was kind of interesting. And let me get back to the Kimber page. And is it eventually when we get there? There we go. Let me make it bigger so we can get a better look at it. Maybe. There we go. All right, that's not much bigger. So the red part is the trigger. You can see the 2 nozzles. That's the front. And then in front of the trigger, it's kind of like a safety thing where it can't, you have to push that out of the way. It's just a plastic piece that has a little hinge. So you put your finger in there, it pushes that out of the way. So that's kind of your safety. And then you can just see the 2 silver pieces in the rear. I believe those are the 2, I don't know if they're CO2 or nitrogen charges. But it's a small form factor. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on this one? if you have a thought on this one.
Interesting take. I like that they're, stretching and flexing the technologies around this and continuing to develop stuff. Yeah, cool.
And I believe they say it's 50. They said it. I think this was the one. They said it's 49 state legal, but when you go on and look at the states, it says it's okay for all 50. So I don't know if maybe like the Hawaii decision, they haven't updated because of that. I guess it says no mail order sales for certain states.
So only females can get it, huh?
I think it's okay for whoever wants it, but it's not reloadable, so it's 2 shots and it's done. For some reason, there's a trainer version, which is like twice the price, but I'm not sure why.
Well, that seems kind of counterintuitive.
But, like I said, I just thought it was kind of interesting. It's something I hadn't seen before. I would lean more towards a pepper spray over this, but it's another option for people. Let me close that one. I have to remember to close these tabs so I don't keep looking at the same tabs over and over again. All right. And then there's the tasers, which are kind of, they've been around for a long time. And this is from Taser's website. There's kind of 3 different form factors. One that's a flashlight and has the contact stun gun. You've got your taser where it shoots the prongs and it's a gun form, and then kind of I don't know if you call it a flashlight form, but it shoots the prongs like the taser.
Does it give the voltages on each of those?
Yeah, I thought it did. Probably does if we go into it. Let's look at the gun one. So it's $400. It said can immobilize the attacker for 30 seconds. 15-foot range. I'm not seeing a voltage.
Well, they're no fun.
Yeah, we could probably find it if we dig, but with the way my internet is, I don't want it.
That's all right. No big deal.
Yeah, these are ones that I wouldn't carry either. The flashlight one is the stun gun one where you see in the TV shows or movies where they've got the stun gun that the zapper, and when they touch somebody, it locks them up like a taser. That's not what they do. It just hurts. It doesn't lock your muscles. But it is, if you've ever heard one, when somebody deploys it, they make a loud, concerning sound.
Not to Guns and Barbecue because he just takes it like a champ. Yeah.
But this might be if you're jogging, I guess you got a flashlight and a stun gun all in one.
Let's just say it depends on the voltage too. The ones at the jail were only 50,000 volts. They were great for loosening up my back, but
Yeah, I've never been actually stunned with it. I've just one of the truck drivers that I know, he carries one, and he was showing it to me, and when he activated it, that
yeah, they sound mean.
yeah.
And like I've seen a lot of guys drop with them, but the 50,000 volts that we had at the jail, nothing to me.
So, any other opinions out there, or is that? All right. Let me close that one. So here's some kind of what you were getting into, barbecues, some of the rounds. These ones are shotgun. So you've got different rubber projectiles as options. Here's one that I wanted to show. I know one of these has a video link to it. I paused the video because I didn't know if that was too much for my thin internet right now. But it's a flashbang round, and it is
pretty wild.
Ugh. Am I back?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let me see if I can find the spot where he shoots it, and then just play that. So maybe my internet doesn't drop. Come on.
Part of me would like to get shot with a beanbag, but as I get older, the other part of me is like, not so sure about that anymore.
Come on, thrill seeker. If you're going to ride a bull and stuff like that as a blind man, you don't think you can take a beanbag to the butt?
That's a flashbang.
That looks pretty wicked.
Wow! 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 That was loud. Huge flash. Yeah, are you ready? Go whenever you're good.
That's pretty cool.
Dude,
I kind of like that.
And I don't think there's a projectile in it. It's just the noise and the flash.
Like that, I don't think would be too bad of an idea still, to have loaded as a first round in like a shotgun. Even like worst case scenario, somebody comes in, guns ablaze and stuff like that, because that's going to be so disorienting.
Yeah, that's. I think if you shot that off in the house, everybody just kind of sits down and takes a minute. And Vanessa Kitty's out there. Good morning. Misha thinks you're asleep. Gary, are you sleeping?
No, why?
All right. Misha just said he thought you were asleep. Honcho Fett's out there. How's it going, Honcho? That flashbang would probably be good too for, if you got bears or something out around your property. It's kind of like what the green pants, the game wardens will use. But I think they tend to use kind of more of a crackle round where it'll pop, but it makes a crackle sound. Oh, Larry Knopf's out there. Yeah, I'm not personally interested in, I don't keep my shotgun loaded because I wouldn't use, that's not my go-to home defense. The pistol is, but even if I did keep it loaded, I probably wouldn't use, rubber bullets or anything. This one's kind of neat looking. Looks like a little bomb. The javelin slug. It's a 115 grain rubber projectile. You'll probably feel that one out of a 12 gauge. Ooh, a little koosh ball one leaves a good rash. The high velocity star. M. Gabriel's out there. So have any of you ever used anything like these in a shotgun? Or I think there are stuff you can get for handguns, but it's a lot rarer to see them. I don't have any experience with these.
Me neither.
I've gotten to fire a beanbag just to fire one. Buddy had one, and I was like, "Oh, cool! Let's shoot it." So, but we just shot it to shoot it. Nothing special. We just shot it at hillside. So, can't. If we were smart, we should have at least shot it like a milk jug or something. But we were young and dumb, so yeah, it's kind of a boring story, I guess. Sorry.
No, it's all right. Vanessa Kitty said, neighbor down the street filled his shotgun shells with rock salt. You can buy shotgun shells with rock salt. That I think it might have been on the website we were just looking at. I think they might have had some rock salt rounds. Baron said he's used a taser. And Vanessa Kitty said she's used her Maglite, one of the big ones. So here's one that I thought was interesting. I've never seen anything quite like it before. This one's, I think, more geared towards law enforcement. I'll play the video. Hopefully, I don't crash the system. Can you guys hear it?
Here's a standard weapon.
No,
The
sir.
alternative, within seconds,
No?
There we
can
are.
be mounted to the top of the weapon.
It is
No
now.
instruction to the sight picture of the operator. and there's no obstruction to the functionality of the weapon or the rail system. It still allows an officer the ability to attach a flashlight on their weapon. Once the weapon is fired, the bullet travels down the barrel, embedding itself inside the alloy projectile with no chance of escaping, instantly becoming one solid unit. The projectile immediately separates from the weapon, as the docking unit is instantly ejected. Then, a new bullet is cycled in for follow-up shots if necessary. The alternative is as accurate as the operator using it. Once the projectile impacts the threat, it will send a shockwave of pain to the suspect without the internal damage that a penetrating bullet would cause.
Like it was bouncing off ballistics gel.
Well, that was an animation, so who knows?
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that would be less than lethal now, because if anybody sees you get out that gun with that big ball on the end of it, they're gonna die laughing. That's probably what's gonna happen.
I
Well,
have seen
Like I
that.
said, I think this is marketed towards law enforcement, but it was something different. I mean, there is.
What kind of holster are you gonna put that in?
What you
not.
just clamp it on,
Safari Land.
so it slips.
Mhm.
It slips on the gun when you want to use it. It doesn't stay on all the time.
That's a decent example because we were talking about, say, like the rock salt rounds or whatever, and how is that smart or not? But that particular mechanism and style, like that's kind of an answer to that. You go you go less than lethal first, but your follow up is right there. So 2 trigger pulls and you're to lethality, but that first one, not so much.
But my
But you're
thing
gonna get
is,
out your regular gun, and you've got to decide whether or not you're gonna put this plastic thing on the end of it first.
well,
I follow.
the foolish thing about it is you're pulling out. Let's say it was just attached. Like when you draw, it's already on there. So you're just like, hey, that first shot's gonna hurt like hell because, yeah, I'm really sorry, Poss. That's like my 3rd bad word tonight. I am just on a roll. I do apologize. This is supposed to be a family-friendly show. I'm very sorry, viewing audience, but
that's all right.
this first shot's gonna hurt like heck, folks. And but here's the thing: we're trained to shoot until the threat is neutralized. You're not just pulling that trigger one time and waiting to see, did that have my desired effect? No, you're going to be pulling that trigger 2 or 3 times right in a row. So why have that in the first place?
Maybe you better carry 2 or 3 of them little ball things in a bag.
Mhm.
You can just pop them on the end of your gun real quick.
And I wonder,
might
because
be-
based on what Barbecue was just saying, can you all remember when it kind of stopped being like a protocol for a police officer to put like one down, one shot, 2 shots kind of thing instead of mag dumping? Like I just see that as being like everybody mag dumps now.
Well, this could be an alternative to like the beanbag shot, where instead of having to go and get the shotgun with the beanbag shotgun, the officer has this on them already with them, and they can just slip it on and then use it.
Oh, 100%. And I mean, in that scenario, sure. It gives you one extra option. Hey, we need to go less lethal here. This person been saying, they want suicided by cop, for example. We unfortunately need to neutralize the threat that they're posing here. Now, at the same time, saying that, like, it almost sounds like you'd probably be in some sort of standoff situation. Why wouldn't you have a rifle loaded with rubber bullets or a shotgun loaded with beanbags to do that job? Why would you want to be taking that shot with that contraption on a handgun from whatever distance, I would much rather be taking that shot with a long gun with something higher power. But if it's, I guess there could be some sort of time and place for it.
But that,
I
and
just thought it was.
it's an interesting contraption for sure. The thing is that you're like most 90% of the time is that you got tasers, mace, and your gun for primary, or like your gun is technically your primary, and everything else is secondary or non-lethal, for the cops. But 9 times out of 10, that first bullet is not going to be a blank to launch that. It's got to be something more along the lines of actually a round. But I would almost be cautious of having something like using that first, because I would definitely rather keep a shotgun aircraft loaded with ready to go with a beanbag shot, and then my primary loaded with an actual round.
Boss, I'm not trying to throw out something for you to try and look up or anything like that, but one thing you didn't mention is baton.
Well, yeah, I didn't. There were some stuff like that. I decided not to. Just because I didn't.
No, that's all right. I'd say I could give the quick security side of it. Like that's not one that's really a good way to go in the first place. It should be a really, really last resort, right before your firearm, if anything. It has a really, really poor look in the court system. It's almost looked at as draconian because you're beating somebody at that point. It's just not a good way to go.
Well, I mean, we kind of discussed that earlier. I mean, like the use of a baseball bat, right?
No, it's literally just mentioned as offensive versus defensive use.
This is X Adam 1 sent this picture in his less setup. He has less than lethal shotgun. And let me show also Gunpowder Beauty sent in a picture of her cat thingy she was talking about. When it comes up, if it comes up. Yeah. All right. That didn't work. All
The
right.
only reason I thought of it. Sorry, Foss, what?
It popped up right as I closed the screen.
The only reason I thought of a baton is because I had a memory from I don't know, half dozen years ago or so, where I was actually out and about and I saw just random dude carrying a baton on his belt, and it's like, really? And my first thought was like, you realize like anything that's on your person could end up being used against you. And I'm just, one, does he have training with baton? Because that's one of those weapons, like if you don't keep control of it, that's one that can get used against you really easily, and they're so dangerous.
If you have training, there's a lot you can do with it that isn't just clubbing somebody.
Yes.
So they can be effective. I've had collapsible batons in the past. They were kind of cheap. I don't know if we can have them in Washington. I know for a while they were banned, but the steel ones have weight to them, which is nice. But they're heavy to carry around. The titanium ones, are lighter and faster, but they don't have that carry through weight as you swing them.
Yep.
But this is the Sparkle Kitty thingy, that Gunpowder Beauty. So where the eyes are, you lace 2 of your fingers through there. And then you got the ears as pokey bits to poke somebody with.
Apparently color coordinated with that pepper spray. Blue
Yeah, I was gonna
sparkles.
say she must have just sprayed the crap out of us with that pepper spray.
Poor cat.
That's because she is always fabulous. X Adam said, I'm not thinking of less than lethal for deadly situations. I have a gun for that. I'm thinking less lethal when there's situations where I need force multiplier that doesn't require death. That's kind of how I would approach it also. I think of it usually. The scenario that comes to mind is the Karen that is out of control. I don't want to use deadly force on her. I don't want to have to punch her. And that's where pepper spray could neutralize that situation. But I don't know. And that's just, it's not something that's not quite a situation I've run into, but just trying to plan ahead. And New York Outcast is out there. He finally quit corking us. And 2 Live Movies. Abigail Shorsa Finnegan. And Baron was asking, what about Pocket Sand? Pocket Sand.
Definitely Pocket Sand.
Yeah, the guy who did the voice of Dale Gribble just passed away.
If you don't carry Pocket Sand, I recommend Packets of Salt.
Or a bug assault. You could just go after people with a bug assault.
Well, it's
definitely less than lethal.
If they're eating your food, yeah.
Well, if you get pepper spray, you might as well have salt spray too. That way you can season your steak from a distance.
There's a shotgun round that is seasoning that you can buy. Let me close that. And X Adam sent in another. I gotta find it. There it is. X Adam 1 sent in, I think. There we go. The version of the Sparkly Kitty that he has. And we'll wait for it to open up.
It's not going to open until you remove it. Yep. Okay, that's a scarier looking cat.
Dude,
Yeah.
Devil Dog.
No kidding.
And this one, he was saying it's like an ABS or something like that. It's a plastic or polymer.
Yeah. We call them watch cats when we're at the courthouse. We catch those all the time in the X-ray.
Gunpowder Beauty said, use glitter. It hurts the eyes more and sticks to everything.
It sticks to the carpet. It sticks to the face. It sticks to the clothes. It sticks to the ceiling.
There was another round.
Yep.
That I thought I had saved the link for it, but it basically looked like a rifle grenade that you put on your pistol.
Oh dear God!
It was a like a hard foam projectile or something like that, but it looked like a rifle grenade. It was stuck on there. I think it kind of worked like that last one with the ball that we looked at. The bullet goes into the ball and then shoots it off.
The ball thing.
But, yeah, I forget what it was called. Oh, I don't think I said hi to Ozzy Osbourne. I apologize. I saw you when you popped up, but I didn't say hello. So is there, I don't know, is there anything else kind of along those lines that I missed, or?
Man, bear, pig.
Well, you don't really deploy man, bear, pig as self-defense, so.
But what if we could?
It'd be hard to control.
Okay.
Being kind of noisy, I wrote.
Oh, yeah.
Can you guys hear my fan?
I can't.
I think my favorite is what I call a WAP. It's a weaponized assault penguin.
I guess if you had a penguin, you could throw them at people.
Or better yet,
No, so-
use what the Canadians do: weaponized assault geese.
Although I probably wouldn't go around using the term WAP.
Just throw cats at them. Nobody wants to deal with a cat.
Yeah, but those geese, man, those are a freaking terror.
My cat Tomo, I used to throw at people because it was funny. And, I'd be walking along, hey, throw the cat at him.
It's terrific.
He was a good cat. I don't know. Did we talk that one out? Was there anything else that I missed? Oh, I didn't. Shoot. I just realized there was a poll on the community tab. So let me go grab the link for the community tab. The holster that I got for my Kimber. So let me paste her there. And let me jump over to, there we go. And I'll pin that. So I like it. I guess I could share that screen. So I was just asking, I said I picked up a holster for my Kimber. I like it, but I don't love it. So I was curious on what everybody's opinion was of it. The options are I like it or get something fancier.
What is it?
It's just a basket weave thumb break.
Oh,
holster.
okay.
I got it off Etsy. It's a little thin. It's thinner than 1791, but I've had it on. Did some draw and dry fire practice with it, and it's comfortable. The thumb break, when I draw, I can feel it as I draw. You can feel that tension against the gun, the resistance of it. I'm not sure about that. And then I realized that the way that I dress, that the thumb break really isn't necessary because I'm not open carrying because I wear an undershirt with a polo over top of it. So when I go to draw, I have to clear my shirt to get to the gun anyways. The thumb brake is fine that, if I tumble down the stairs, it'll keep my gun in place. But I was thinking about getting, as Baron was saying, get a non-thumb brake holster. I was thinking about maybe getting a 1791 for it because I love 1791 holsters. And they have one that I like the look of. But I was just curious on what, put a poll up, see what everybody's opinion was.
Can you screen share the one that you like the look of
Well, I got to go.
without breaking your internet?
It says my internet is excellent now, so.
Nice.
Well, I guess I can take that off and then I'll share as I'm searching it. Hopefully I don't crash the system. Yeah, that can go away. Oops. Let's try shot by gun. Like 1011. And 5-inch. Oops. Oh. Hang on, I gotta back up. Itchy trigger finger. Went off early.
Story of my life.
Man. Come on. What are we doing? What's going on?
Yeah, Ozzy's got a good point. Too bad you don't know a holster guy.
Oh. He makes some very nice looking holsters.
He could make you one that's got Kansas City Chiefs on it. That's what you want.
No, that's not what I want.
Then he could be a champion.
Oh, I bet he could like emboss Jackson Mahomes on it or something.
Yeah. I guess I wanted shot by gun. Now I don't know what I'm doing. I'm losing control. There we go.
Did you ever truly have control?
Oh, I don't know. I'm holding on loosely.
Don't let go.
If you cling too tightly, you're going to lose control, boss.
I'm not seeing it here. Or, maybe I need to go into the options. All right, hold on.
He knows what's up. Yeah, he'll take the KC holster.
I got to remember. Wasn't the thumb brake? Let's look at the Ultra Custom. See what the options are in there. Nope, that's not it. Because it was kind of a tan, but around the edges had some black, so it looked almost like it was burnt around the edges.
Oh.
But I don't know where it is.
Well, yeah.
That's a thumb brake one. I don't think it was in there.
BHX. Is that spelled Bahex? Yes.
The VHX is the one that I have.
I only own one of their holsters, and I bought it in a store. I don't know what its name is. I just call it holster.
Yeah, I don't know where. It might not even have been a 1791. I thought it was. I'm remembering it as that, but I'm not seeing it. So I don't know.
But I never used the 1791 one because Ozzy gave me one, and so the 1791 holster never gets used.
Yeah, I've got 1791 for my Taurus 65 and my Smith & Wesson 360. And I like that they're really rigid, so you don't have to worry about the tops collapsing.
That's true. They're pretty stiff leather.
They're very stiff. I like it stiff, baby.
I'm not touching that.
Too stiff for you, huh?
I don't want to touch it either. Damn.
Yep.
Well, I don't know where it was. Might have been a different brand. I'm just misremembering. X Adams told me to check out Lobo holsters. I've heard a lot of good things about them.
Versacuri also, if you like leather, they have good selection.
The ones we got from at Thunder in the Prairie, it looks
Mhm.
nice. I really don't. I'm not a fan of that holster. Yeah, I didn't do a review on them just because, because I didn't like it doesn't mean it's not a good holster. So I didn't want to sound like I was trashing them.
Well, what they ended up giving me was basically one that I already had. So, but that's okay. It was free.
Yeah, one thing I thought about afterwards was I should have, when Defense Dad contacted me, and asked what do I normally carry and all that, I should have told him one that I didn't have a holster for already. That way I could get a holster for something.
Yeah, because I have a number of things I could potentially carry.
I probably would have said the 4006. I do have one, but I have a cop holster for it because I thought it needed a basket weave cop holster.
When I don't have a holster for is my full size 1911. That's what I should have got.
But I don't know.
Maybe next year.
I probably will get another holster for my Kimber, and it doesn't hurt to have two holsters. But I'll keep practicing with this one. I still haven't carried it just because I want to get used to the manual of arms and all that before I carry it. But I bought got a couple Metgar mags for it, which I was checking them out, before the chat. And they seem to work really well. I've got some Wilson Combat, but the followers are different, so they don't have a last round hold open.
No, that sucks.
And the Metgars, I like them better than the Kimber one. When the Kimbers drop free, but the Metgar launches out of the bottom.
I just can never really like the type of follower that the Kimbers had. I just it just looks weird having that half bent down 90 degree with the other one just straight.
As long as it works, that's all I really care about.
I personally can't stand it, so I don't buy them.
Burns telling me to check his link. Where did you put your link?
It's up in the chat, just a little ways. Starts off with this is what I have.
I got you. Now I got to see if I can. Let me open that and another tab. Hang on a second. Let me close some of these tabs. And...
Iron Road, are you cleaning your basement or are you moving like boxes of rocks across a sandy concrete floor?
No, I'm just moving around. I'm using my Bose earphones and they detect every single fucking thing. Pardon my French.
It's translating out to us.
Baron, no, I don't think so. I don't think that's what I was looking at. Yeah, it's not. It's not any of those. Those are nice. It's not quite what I was looking at. All right. Well, Iron Road, is there anything you would like to plug? You got any videos coming up?
No, not really. Just been kind of doing my own thing. Been trying to get some certain things squared away. I might do a not kind of, I don't know if they call it a blog or a vlog, but I was gonna maybe think about this little intrusive idea that just popped in my head. I'm gonna go on a vacation pretty soon. During the Labor Day weekend, I'm gonna go over to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and go to Cody, Wyoming for a good week, and maybe do some filming, pictures. Might post them on the YouTubes.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds cool. Gary, anything you want to
Yes.
plug?
Oh, check out Foul Territory on Friday nights, 9 p.m. Central. Also, see, I just put out a video yesterday on the Civivi Cubit. I did my final review. Plus, I've probably should have some gun stuff coming up this next week, so check it out. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, thanks for jumping on. DJ.
Well, on behalf of Guns and Barbecue, I'd like to welcome everybody to the wild world of Amphi on Tuesday nights, the Guns and Barbecue channel. Check it out. As usual, I'm going to plug the A Great Start Shooting School channel. It's a Saturday night. I didn't see nearly enough of you in there. As I'm wagging my finger, consider subscribing if you're not, stopping by for the replay if you are and just couldn't make it tonight. Beyond that, Voss, thanks for having me on, and be safe, have fun, carry your guns, and rock.
Barbecue
Is absent.
Oh, I was looking down. Son of a... He left me hanging. Oh, well, like I said, we're closing in on 1,600 subscribers, so I think we'll do giveaway once we cross that threshold. And I do appreciate everybody that does subscribe. I'm flabbergasted that there's that many subscribers. I honestly never thought I would hit 100, and was shocked when I hit 100. And you know, I'd reach. That's why I used to do giveaways like every 50, because I thought that would be the last 50 that I would get. But for those of you who have been along for the ride from the start, I really appreciate you guys. And those who have just joined in, I appreciate you too. It is kind of humbling. And I'm a small channel. You know, I am very tiny. You got the big shots like Gary in here, who I really appreciate him hanging out with us. And so we'll hopefully in the near future, we'll do the giveaway. We'll give away one of the survival knives that X Adam 1 provided, and I think we'll give away the watch too. The Casio that he sent in.
Nice.
Other than that, here, let me, there we go. Stop the banner. X Adam's asking if I plan on doing a show at a normal time. Because of my schedule, that probably won't happen. And I like kind of being the late night chat. I have always been kind of a late night person. I have somewhat turned into a morning person where I like to be up really early, just to get an early start on the day. But you never know, never know where life takes you. So I appreciate everybody that was out there in the side chat. All the conversation going on, and those who might have been watching but didn't say anything. I appreciate you too. And if you watch this in replay, leave a comment. Like I said, I always read them, and they're always appreciated. And other than that, I hope everybody has a good rest of the night.
You still here? It's over. Go home.